Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Ziffity, and I am back for day 13 of my consistent uploads. Guys, we are so close to 2 weeks, and I wanted to say thank you all for your support. So this story, I start school tomorrow. I know that a lot of people are starting school right now, so I figured I'd tell a story about some crazy stuff that happened at school when I was younger. This story takes place around fifth grade, but without any more rambling or anything else, let's get right into the story starting now. Okay, so getting into the story, me and a couple of my friends when I was younger, we went to a pretty small elementary school. It wasn't like anything super crazy, but it wasn't like a public elementary school because I don't know, my mom moved into a new town and wanted us to be in a good school, so she put us in this like Catholic school, which honestly I don't know if that was better or worse for me. Honestly, a lot of the people there were super weird and super uptight, and a lot of them were also semi crazy. It's hard to explain like the energy that was at the school, but it wasn't like good. Nobody ever felt happy there, and I don't know. It's weird because I figure at a Catholic like private school, everybody would be so happy to be there, which I was at the time because I knew how much work my mom was putting in to get there. But some of the kids, including the kid in this story, I don't know if they really realized like how much work actually goes into having a kid in like a private school. And I don't say that as like, oh, I'm a private school kid. I only went there for like a couple years and then I transferred to a public school. So it's not like I'm a private school kid. But so eventually, so one day in this class, me and my buddy, we'll call him Connor. Me and Connor are chilling in class, just kind of having a good time. And the teacher this day decided that she wanted to put on a movie. And the movie that she put on was like a nature documentary. So it was about like apes and like monkeys pretty much. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty interesting. And there was a couple tigers in there. It was a pretty interesting video. And for the most part, everybody's having a good time. And then there was Jeremy. That's what we'll call him for this video. We'll call him Jeremy. So everybody's pretty much just vibing out, having a good time, just watching a movie. Couple kids had some candies, and we were just passing around some candies, watching a movie. It was a pretty good time. But Jeremy was not having a good time because there was one scene in particular in this movie where they showed two monkeys just doing it, and like circle of life, trying to teach us all that. Like, yeah, you have to do this in order to reproduce, blah, blah, blah. Jeremy was not having it. And he basically told the teacher the entire time how disgusting it was that she would play this for us. And keep in mind, we're in like fourth grade, maybe fourth, fifth grade, something like that. So like Jeremy shouldn't have been worrying about this as much as he was. Like I didn't even think about it. I was just kind of like, oh, well, I guess we're watching this. This is cool. At least I'm not doing math. But so Jeremy is going on to the teacher, and the teacher's like, hey, listen, this is how life goes. Like, this is what we have to do. And he's just going on and on about how, no, it's inappropriate for us to watch. Like, my mom wouldn't let me watch this. Meanwhile, they were only allowed to show G-rated movies because that's the only type of, like, documentary that we are allowed to watch without the parents signing waivers, because it's literally just needs somebody there if you're young, which, I mean, G-rated movies, everybody knows that those movies are, I don't know, there's literally nothing wrong with them. You could sit a 2-year-old in front of them and the 2-year-old would just be like, oh, wow, like, there's pretty colors, But so Jeremy keeps going on about it, and after a little bit, the teacher is like, okay, well, you know what, Jeremy, if you don't want to watch it, you can leave the room. But I'm not going to tell the other kids that they can't watch it because we're going to have a test on this and we'll just find another way for you to do it. And so Jeremy is kind of just like, no, I'm not leaving. Like, you need to turn this off. It's inappropriate for everybody, like, not just me. Meanwhile, nobody else has said anything. All of us are just super stoked to be out of class, not doing like actual work, just kind of hanging out, having a good time. And so Connor looks over at Jeremy and is like, hey, shut up. I want to watch this movie. I'm not trying to do math. And Jeremy, being the stuck up little kid that he was just, no, if I say that we can't watch this movie because it is not appropriate for us, then nobody gets to watch the movie. I know what is appropriate because my mom has told me blah, 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 blah. You know, just kind of going off on Connor for wanting to watch a movie. Meanwhile, everybody else in the class is just trying to watch this movie. So, Connor, not being one to like ever kind of back down from anybody, it just starts going at him harder and goes, well, you know what, Jeremy? If you are so much of I'm just going to say a little baby because we were in 5th grade and Connor is one of the people that taught me most of the words that I know today. And I can't really repeat what he said, but we'll just say, Jeremy, if you want to be a little baby and not watch this movie, then you can leave. But me and my friends all want to watch this movie, and everybody else in the rest of the class wants to watch this movie. Just because you can't handle 2 monkeys doing it, then that's not our problem. So Jeremy, very upset at this point, is basically just like, no, 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 losing it. And just like screaming in the class. And then our teacher is like, Jeremy, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the classroom if you can't behave. If you don't want to watch the movie, that's fine. But I'm not going to tell everybody else that they can't. It's like you have to figure out a way to like not watch it. But this is part of the curriculum. And so Jeremy is just freaking out and just kind of, just like tweaking about the fact that our teacher is playing a movie for us. And after a little bit, he ends up grabbing his desk and throwing it at the teacher. Because we had these little they weren't heavy, like it was easy to pick them up. And so he wasn't like a small kid by any means, but he wasn't big. And he just picks up the desk, throws it against the little like cabinet locker things right next to our teacher. I think I said that he threw it at the teacher, which he did but missed, and it just kind of went next to her. And the teacher is like, whoa, like, Jeremy, like, you can't do that. Like, you can't throw your desk just because we're watching a movie that you don't want to watch. Like, you can leave. We told you you could leave. And Jeremy is just kind of like, and she's like, well, now that you did this, like, I have to take you to the office and we have to call your parents. And Jeremy goes into, no, you don't need to call my parents. Like, my parents don't need to know. I'm really sorry. Like, we can watch the movie. And everybody's like, no, we are way past we can watch the movie. You just threw a desk at the teacher because she told you that she wasn't going to turn it off for everybody. And he's bawling his eyes out now at this point, just like basically being like, no, please don't call my mom. Please don't call my mom. Because he even knew that like his mom was going to take the teacher's side in this, because anybody in their right mind would take the teacher's side. So he gets sent to the office, and we all continue to watch the movie. The teacher kind of is like trying to slow it down and just kind of be like, hey, listen, guys, I know that there was a freak out. I know that most of you guys are still cool with watching the movie, but like if you're not, you guys can leave. It's not a big deal. Like, just don't cause a scene. Just be like, hey, I'm really not comfortable watching this, leave. And meanwhile, Jeremy is in the office and the principal is just giving him hell. Just like basically ripping into him about how like he assaulted a teacher and how he's going to get charged, blah, 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 blah. I mean, he's in 5th grade, like he can't really get charged with anything, but just like, you're like, you assaulted a teacher, blah, blah, blah. Jeremy's losing it. His parents end up coming, and the next day he came and gave the whole class like a big apology, like, hey, I'm really sorry that I threw a desk at the teacher and he screamed at all of you guys. And Connor never actually ended up getting in trouble for saying anything, surprisingly. Surprisingly, the teacher kind of took his side and was just like, hey, you know what? You said it. It's whatever. We're coolin'. Yeah, so Jeremy got in some pretty big trouble. Most of the other kids, it was pretty fine. Like, nobody really cared. And we watched the rest of the movie that day. I ate some popcorn that the teacher ended up making us, and overall, it was a 10 out of 10 day in school. It was 10 out of 10. But with all that being said, guys, this is the end of that story. I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment. Tell me how your day was in the comments. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys all in the next video. I'm Ziffity. Peace.